numbers are real. Kind of report, he's coming off a clunker. 5 runs and only 2 1/3 against the Mets, but that's where he's allowed 3 runs or fewer. And a big reason why he's throwing his sinker more, this 8.8% sinking fastballs. He didn't have a good one in his last start.
Defense behind the Yankee lefty, brought to you by your local Tri-State GMC dealers. Ben and 10 Kia dealers. Let's talk about this.
Well, they're on a major run. The
Of the New York Post just made a correction to me on text. He said, I'm going with...
Yankees have won 25 of their last 30 games at home, and they are Major League pitches up well. And back on top, it's always great to be known as the best team in baseball.
Game said the Yankees have taken the first 3. Next up, 3 games against the Mariners, starting tomorrow night of a stretch.
You wonder after his last outing, which I mentioned.
And let's do it here in the Bronx. There's a strike. We're underway. Montgomery working out.
The sinking fastball wasn't good. He was trying to run the 4-seamer in on the hands of the...
The 0-1. Fly ball right field. Matt Carpenter. A 10-ish, 10-10, something like that. And then he takes them off and he
was earthing.
Yeah, he was earthing again.
Come on, grounding.
Bobby Witt Jr. lines one.
Well, he took off to this ball with a good vision of possibly diving, and then at the end, just kind of rough day at the plate yesterday. Didn't take long to line one out to right field.
Who has stolen 20 bases already. I'm wondering, though, with the hamstring problems he's coming back from.
Here's Salvador Perez. What we have with him, it says that he is pitcher friendly, wide outside.
Look at Perez's numbers. We saw him with the big home run off a Cole the other night on one of the best catchers in all of baseball.
0-2.
Even about having him back behind the plate. You know, you mentioned the offensive numbers, but what?
The 0-2. Swing and a miss.
When he has his curveball, that is when he is at his best. That's where he gets swing and miss that ball late in the count.
Time called.
Jordan changing it.
Bases, will he be running after battling that hamstring for 5 or 6 days? Chopped it.
I mean, you can't talk enough about Witt and the things that he has done. An RBIs, 29 steals. He's tied for 7th in the major leagues this year so far.
That one's driven in the left side. No one man left. It's the Royals nothing and the New York Yankees coming to bat.
Though she got to announce Aaron Judge. That's all she wanted. Her day was made. It's the park, Michael. He didn't take the helicopter. Is that what you're saying?
I would think so, yeah. And there's the strike.
Well, you saw the numbers for Greinke now. A scouting report. He's been
about 70. That usually gets in.
And a .617 winning percentage, which is a very valid case.
Pitch outside.
So he's got a very strong case.
There's a strike.
And Flash, you talk about pitchers that have changed what type of pitcher. He's a pitcher, and he just uses everything and figures out a way to keep hitters.
Going to be much more than that, and it's a curve, a changeup, a slider, a cutter, a sinker. He will throw
on a 51-mile-per-hour ethos pitch. And there's a strike. Take a look at the defense brought to you by your local Tri-State GMC dealer. Prado. Judge 9 homers in his last 9 games. 12. Fouled away. On the last 12 games for Judge, 22 for 45. That's, you know, we're saying we're running out of words. Aaron Boone introduction. He said, stupefying.
Stupefying.
Mm-hmm. 2-1.
It's funny because you asked Flash, you know, do you remember anybody having a season like this? You asked what Aaron and Judge has done in the last 12 games. So that makes me feel a lot better.
You know, when I think of Zach Greinke, I think of Mike Mussina at the end
type of run.
Talk about run. This ran right in on him. Kind
of his career, right when the velocity dropped into the upper 80s. He pitched more inside. Same thing right now.
For win number 70, become the first team in the majors to get to 70 wins. Grounded softly to third. Dozier.
Well, that's a typical at-bat off Zach Greinke. Not a guess hitter. I would always look fastball and try to adjust. Greinke is the type of pitcher that forces.
Rizzo.
Game plan against a guy like Greinke, because when I was looking at his numbers,
I would really look out over the plate, because he would be a type of pitcher, even though, so, you know, and that's a comforting thing as a hitter, knowing that you can catch up to that.
Served into left field. We'll go to the second inning. 0-0. And our thoughts and prayers go out to the Russell family and sports fans around the world. 1-0. Will lead off against Jordan Montgomery. Well, you guys have played.
They're just great winners, and you know, to me, that is an important part of being a great, but a winner. You know, Bill Russell obviously at a level by himself.
Into the same. 3-1. 3-2. He played in 10 game sevens. 10-0.
national title. Them.
Swing and a miss. One away.
Good back-to-back sinkers to a lefty after falling back in the count. And you see last time bat, you can see good movement on that sinker so far from Monty.
And one more final thing about Bill Russell. The 0-1 to Taylor. Grounded foul. And the pitch. Now we told you Mark Carlson behind the plate. We're 2-2.
There. You're right. The two-seamer is one pick up a little bit.
Did you get the feeling, Flash? It kind of put pressure on you as a hitter. You were always on the defensive, like they were confident enough that
you. It goes a long way.
Swing and a miss. Taylor. Game tickets, unlock offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the Here is MJ Melendez. Actually caught 2 games. And
like Monty, who's coming off a rough outing. I mean, early, you noticed the curveball being really good early. I've noticed the sinker being really good early. So
the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strong. 1-2-3. We'll go to the bottom of the second.
I like the old 64 pack, Michael. They had the silver and the gold in them. You know,
cover a lot of speeds to cover.
All those colors there, kind of.
The only time it looked good was like the first day of school. It just got messed up.
Michael is one of those guys who couldn't use the broken crayon. It had to be perfect, right? Your handwriting is perfect over here.
Okay, I have to read it, but I mean, I'm a slob, of course. Now I've got a question to ask you, John.
His changeup has a higher
velocity than his fastball.
Well,
every now and then they're different velocities.
So he's not max effort on his fastball.
Yes.
Or I'm going to pick.
Still 3.
Pro cut. We've been through all the pitches, but they're not always the same velocity. I mean, a cutter could be 80.
Strike 3.
It is a perfect at bat right there that we've just been talking about. Greinke, you take a fast changeup that's harder than the fastball that Michael talked about. You do all these things.
Ground ball to second. Merrifield. His first game against the Yankees was back on September 14th, 2004. Donaldson. And he wraps one into right center.